So, we've had classic fashion from Timby, classic cars, thanks Chad, and we've seen classic hairstyles. And you, Michael? Classic.
A classic range from Clover. Timeless taste.
Made with love by Clover.
Egg Week is here and we're bringing you a very Moorish bread pudding that is not only scrumptious but served with some Clover classic custard. It's a wonderful way to celebrate the humble egg. Now, you guys actually did a dessert kind of pudding using the egg on Tuesday's show. So this is, yes, Tumi?
This is the dessert.
This is the dessert.
Yeah, this is a dessert. And normally, you know, you finish with dessert. But I'd like us to start with dessert now. I want you to taste a little bit of this bread pudding that we made. Chef, I'm leaving you out because you're showing us how to make it.
Okay. No
so I just want people to understand the concept of what we've got here. What you should taste, Bale, is the thyme, because what we're making is a citrus and thyme bread pudding. And those flavors, especially with the time of the year that it is now, it works perfectly together. Yes, it might be seen as a winter dessert, but the flavors definitely give you summer, spring all day.
Listen, it is fresh, it is flavorful, and definitely packs that citrus and thyme punch. I couldn't even imagine putting this together, so it's delicious on my tongue.
It's decadent. Now, Chef, now that we've got our lady that doesn't love dessert, look at that smile on her face. Now, please show us how we got to this decadence that we've
Okay, so we're making a custard. I mean, your bread and butter pudding does not only have to be something for winter. If you serve it with an ice cream in summer, it works perfectly. And then if you also make your custard lighter for when you have it in summer, it's more delicate and not so stodgy and heavy, and which you want in winter, but not per se in summer, you know. And the citrus adds a lovely touch to it as well. So you don't have to only put orange in it. You can use lime and lemon also in it.
Okay.
So just for the custard, we've got a bit of orange juice in there, the orange zest, and some of the chopped thyme.
And you've just added that to the eggs that were already just cracked and put in the bowl.
Yes. There were just 4 eggs, and then we got our sugar.
Yeah, because it is sweet. It is sweet.
But it is a dessert that I think you would definitely love. You've mentioned, Palisa, you're not a dessert person, but I think because of the kind of dessert this is, yes, we're talking about being sweet, but you are able to then manage the amount of sweetness to put in there. If you don't want it too sweet, go less on the sugar. But be like me, add some additional decadence to it. Serve it with the topping, a spoonful, a generous cup serving, if you want to, of the Clover Classic custard on the top, because you'll get those crunchy layers that you got from your baked pudding coming out from the oven. Those crunchy external bits, and then you get the soft, decadent center, and then top it with our Clover Classic custard, which is packed with those calcium and vitamins. You can literally enjoy it on its own, but like I say, put it on top of the dessert, enjoy it with your dessert, a dessert on a dessert.
It made all the difference. It actually made all the difference because this bread pudding is a lot.
Yeah.
It's quite potent, I think I should say. So adding that custard just brings that creaminess. It kind of balances out and levels out the flavor.
Luscious texture, yeah.
Now,
and
Chef,
that's basically what it is.
Before we go too far, we are at a step that is quite crucial because some people do it differently. Some people say, take your bread, put it in, gooi. Some people put the bread in there and then pour everything together.
A bit of both is fine, but I find if you soak your bread too long in here, then you don't get it like even layer of custard and bread. Because what I like about my bread and butter pudding is when it's baking, that custard kind of sets to the bottom and gets this like velvety creme brulee kind of texture. And then you got that bread sitting on top, and if you put a bit of sugar on top of that before you bake it, you get like this caramelization on top of it, which is like a bread creme brulee.
Yeah. So you're saying we're dunking?
I dunk one by one and I lay them in there.
Okay, so if you want
a factory line.
A factory line. In fact, if you want to do that, then I normally say, because I like my bread pudding, but I also definitely love the crunchy edges. So what I normally do is I take my bread as is, toast it in the oven already cut up, and then gooi it into a mixture, then back into the oven. I know it's labor intensive, but the whole idea is each bite of that bread will still have the crunchiness, because I'm not saying make toast. Don't make toast South Africa. It's not a toasted bread pudding. We still want the softness of that, the surface, the center of it where it has that pudding flavor of it. That's where the pudding part comes.
And it came across when I took a bite, because the crust was still crusting. It was still nice and crunchy, but the soft inside was also very, very moist, and it definitely carried very well that custard that Chef
I can imagine the flavor as well, like from toasting the bread before you put it in there will also get it sort of enhanced.
Absolutely.
It's like toasty bread flavor.
Smokiness.
The custard,
I'm here for it.
So that's
You're
something
making
I never did before. But
I've said, I've already made a disclaimer, guys. If you're in the kitchen with me and there's no mess, that means we're not cooking.
Then we haven't done anything.
You haven't done anything. So, Chef, I did what you said, and I'm leaving some of the egg mixture there, just so we, like you said, have that creme brulee style there. And the last piece, I'm going to literally just fit into those small pieces.
for that extra crunch on top of it.
Why
and
not?
Then you put some sugar over that, it's insane, because it just gets it like crust on it.
What Chef Dion said. I would say go into the oven with this for at least 20 minutes.
Okay.
You know, set it at 180 or even more, just 180, 20 minutes. If your bread is thicker, obviously just keep an eye on it, but make sure that it's at least nice and brown in the center and cooked in the center.
Yeah, and this is a lovely way to also make use of the bread that's a little bit more stale.
Yeah.
Instead of throwing it away, try this recipe at home. You already know where to get the recipe and the ingredients list. Our website, afternoonexpress.co.za. We'll continue to celebrate all things egg this week.
Exactly.